Hello and welcome. This is my friend Health Coach Art here, and we're going to have a little introductory video where I'd like to introduce all of you to him and what he's trying to do here, starting his new health coaching business. So welcome.
Thank you.
Happy that you could join me today.
Happy to be here.
Is there anything you want to say about yourself before we get started, or should we jump in?
I would imagine it's a lot warmer here than it is where you are.
100%. Yep. And it's not sunny here either. Cloudy.
Sunny.
Cloudy
here.
and foggy. That's the difference you get when you go from California to Canada, right?
Yeah. I'm just north of San Diego, so we're having a strangely warm fall. People are surprised to find out that it actually does get pretty cold here in the winter, not compared to where you are, but it's not unusual for us to get below freezing.
Wow.
In usually late December or January timeframe, and we've actually gotten snow here before. Didn't last long.
What?
And people don't know what to do when that happens. So the freeways become a mess,
Awesome. Okay, so I know a little bit about you because we have talked, and I would love for you to share what motivated you to want to become a health coach.
Well, personal experience really. In 2000 or 2020, I lost my job last May, which pretty much ended a 30-year career in facilities management. And at that point, my health started deteriorating pretty rapidly. I was dealing with all sorts of bizarre symptoms of issues with my vision, blood pressure drops, things like that. In October of last year, I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. I had an A1C of 12%, which is double what it should be, actually a little more. I was also diagnosed with stage 3 kidney disease, almost stage 4, and had a host of other problems, fatty liver, high blood pressure, acid reflux, occasional gout. I mean, I was a pretty sick mess, and I was dealing with all the symptoms that came along with that at that point. It was no longer, they call diabetes the silent killer or something like that. It wasn't silent anymore. So I had to make a decision pretty quickly as to what I was going to do, because I was, like I said, I was not far from stage 4 kidney disease, which would have meant dialysis and probably having to go on the transplant list. And so I really had two choices: is either not do anything and live a short, miserable life, or try to turn my health around and see what I could do to fix that. And fortunately, that's what I decided to do. I went very, very aggressive, hardcore into turning my health around literally overnight. Went from being a sugar addict to no sugar at all, almost. And that was probably the biggest contributor to the success. I lost, by the end of last year, I had lost 60 pounds.
Wow.
By December, my A1C had dropped to somewhere around 7, I think, or high 6-point high something.
Wow.
Still in the pre-diabetic, diabetic range, but obviously quite an improvement. By February of this year, I was technically no longer a diabetic. My A1C was in a healthy level, but the better news was that my eGFR for my kidneys, which is the number that determines how well your kidneys are functioning, went from 38, which is just above stage 4, to 85. And to put that into perspective, as an adult, our eGFR should not be above 60, or should be below 60. So I'd gone from dying kidneys to super healthy kidneys, which
Wow.
most doctors and anything you read will tell you can't be done.
Right.
They just say, yeah, you can stop the progress, you can slow it down, but once kidneys are damaged, they're damaged. Well, I got the numbers to prove that it can work, for me. I mean, I'm sure there's some exceptions out there, and it really depends on how soon you catch it.
Yeah.
So having gone through this experience of this significant health transformation, I mean, I just came to a place where I just developed this passion for helping people. I knew too much at that point not to do something with it. And coincidentally, if you want to call it that, the HCI opportunity, Health Coach Institute opportunity came along. And in May of this year, as you were, I was a student, and I am about 2 weeks away from being certified. So it's been an incredible journey, as I know it's been for you as well.
Yes.
So that's why we're talking today.
Right. Wow, that's incredible. And we all have experiences that led us to where we are, but to have that sort of a complete turnaround is miraculous. But from my perspective, I just think it would offer so much hope to people that are in a similar situation to you, because I feel like so many people get to that point in their life and the doctor just says, well, this is where you are. This is just kind of how it's going to be. And you're saying, no, it doesn't have to be that way. You actually can do something to make it better. And whether or not everyone can have a total reversal, it probably depends on your body and the amount of effort you're personally willing to put into it. But to be able to change your quality of life so drastically is inspiring and hopeful, I think, for a lot of people out there. So I love.
Yeah, definitely. It beyond the weight loss and the good healthy feelings now. I mean, it's completely changed my life, because the little things like up till about 10 years ago, I was a very active photographer. Spent a lot of times in the mountains and backpacking and hiking with a lot of camera gear to get to the places I want to go. But when my health started, actually it was longer than 10 years, my health started deteriorating like that, I at some point just quit and gave it up, because I no longer had the energy, the strength I got to a point where I was almost kind of afraid, because a lot of times I did these out on my own, and it's like, oh my God, am I going to have a heart attack? And out in some lost meadow in Yosemite, and no one knows I'm there. So when my health started turning around last year, all of a sudden I started getting this passion again for getting myself out there and to the places that I was before, where I just couldn't do it anymore. And it was the difference was just beyond amazing. I mean, I was climbing 2-mile hikes with 2,000-foot elevation gains without having to stop.
Yeah.
And that's, for me, I know there's a lot of athletes out there that go, oh, that's no big deal. But for me, that was a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
So it has a bigger effect on us than just putting on smaller clothes and seeing better lab results. It has a widespread effect, not just on your personal life, but you don't realize it, but you're inspiring other people too.
Yeah.
Somebody tell me the other day, something, and said, I just want you to know I'm watching you. I'm like, what does that mean? Are you stalking me?
Yes.
No, they were just saying that they were watching, me going through my transformation and now putting myself out there to help others. And so you just never know what you're having on other people's lives,
True. And I really like what you said too, that it's not just about your health. That was the drastic thing that needed to change, but it has a ripple effect on, I would argue that it ripples into every area of your life, because I'm noticing it too. You start with this small transformation, and the confidence that you gain as you build new habits just gives you a whole new perspective on your life. And you start to look for the things you love, and you really live your life with joy. It's not a day-to-day grind anymore. You just notice and appreciate so much more.
Mm-hmm. I can say, because you and I have been working together quite a while. I mean, you were my very first skills lab partner in the coaching program. And when I see you now and listening to you talk now, there's a huge difference between who you are now and who you were back then. And the biggest difference is I see confidence and drive and passion all over your face,
Yeah.
and when you're talking, you're excited about it. And neither one of us had that in the beginning. We were like, oh God, I don't know what I'm doing. What am I doing?
Exactly. Yeah. Full of fear. And the crazy thing is it's only been 7 months,
Yeah.
right?
7 and 10 months.
Yep. Yep. It's unbelievable. So with the story that you have, is there a specific type of client that you're aiming for?
In the beginning there was, but I'm finding that I have a client right now who initially when we started out, she wanted to lose weight and gain some energy. But as we're working together, more and more life stuff is coming out. So it's become kind of a healthy balance between health coaching and life coaching.
Mm-hmm.
So, which really they go hand in hand. I mean, we have health issues because we had life issues. I can speak for myself. It was bad habits that got me into the condition I was in, and which is life related. It had to be good habits to get me out of that.
Mm-hmm.
In the beginning, I was targeting, type 2 diabetics, people that want to lose weight, but now I've just kind of learned to, see who's drawn to me, and I'll work with them. I won't turn somebody away if they really, really want to do this,
Right.
and make a difference in their life, whether it's just a few pounds or a lot of pounds, or they're dealing with chronic disease and they're scared. So yeah, to answer your question.
Yeah. So, as if I were a prospective client and I was coming to you and I wanted to know what your program was about, is there a certain length? Do you have a protocol? Do you do the same types of things with every client, or is it a custom fit program?
Well, the framework of the program is pretty much the same. I have 2 programs. I have the 90-day total transformation program, and a 6-month one for people that feel like they have a lot of work to do. It's going to take longer. I also have now a program for couples. Had couples approach me and say, "Hey, we'd really like to do something together," and I wasn't ready for that one. So
Awesome.
I'm board, and I have a really good program. But the way it works is initially we would have what we call a consultation, or some coaches call it a discovery call. And doesn't cost anything. It's about an hour, and it can be by phone or by Zoom. And what that is about is me getting an understanding of what you're dealing with. What are your goals? What sort of issues would you like to transform in your life? And digging in a little deeper as the kind of the why behind the why. What's driving you to want to make this change now? And it's interesting because a lot of people, well, I just want to lose weight, but sometimes you just start digging a little deeper, and there's other issues that are bringing this about, and that's really, really important. So the program it's custom tailored in the sense that it is focused completely on what you want to achieve within either the 90 days or 60 days. And what I can tell you, what it is not, for example, someone who wants to lose weight, it's not a matter of putting you on a diet. This is not about creating the perfect diet for you. This is about habit change. We talked a little bit about that a few minutes ago, that we either have good habits or bad habits. There's not, in my opinion, there's nothing in between. And generally bad habits are the ones that got us into the condition that we're in, that we don't want to be. It's going to take good habits to get us out of that. So this program is really all about identifying those bad habits and taking little steps to change them, to making them into good habits where you're making healthy choices, whether it's food or exercise or how you're living your life, basically.
And so as a client, that can feel overwhelming to think about changing, if I were to say that, I've been living this way for the past 20 years, and the thought of trying to do something big and drastic just feels too scary. What would you say to a client, a prospective client who worries about, I don't have the time to invest in a lifestyle change or something like that? What would you say as a coach to them? Is it possible for anyone, even those that have a little bit of time to invest? Is it still worth it?
Oh, absolutely. Let me ask you a question. So when I started talking about diet and habit change, what's the first thing that came to your mind for you when you heard me say that?
Well, anxiety. I don't
Why
like
is
that.
that? So what about that made you anxious?
The diet mentality is something I've struggled with for a long time, so I don't like it. It's one of those push button things.
Exactly. Most people, when you mention the word diet, the very first thing they think of is deprivation.
Exactly.
You're gonna tell me I can't have this, my favorite food, anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I need to eat stuff that isn't fit for rabbits. And that's not what the kind of habit change I'm talking about. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about going on a diet. For my success and my own personal transformation, one of the very first things I had to establish with myself right from the start was that I am not going on a diet. I am making a lifestyle, transitioning my lifestyle. I'm making a change to my lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
And, I love Mexican food. I still love Mexican food. And of course, right away, it's like, oh God, I can't have that anymore. But you know what? Bottom line is, I told myself, hey, if I really, really got to have some Mexican food, and I really, really want it, I'll have it. So, more often than not, though, it's like, I don't really want that. You get to a point where you're eating clean and healthy, and it just starts to not appeal to you as much. But the biggest issue is helping someone get to the place where they are managing the food rather than the food managing them. Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean that they have to give up their favorite. I love Oreos. I still love Oreos. But it does not take sitting down with a package of Oreos now and an ice cold glass of milk to satisfy that anymore. And I believe that if that can happen to me, I absolutely believe it can happen with anybody, because I was, this is not an exaggeration, I was addicted to sugar. I had a sugar addiction. I was drinking 50 to 60 ounces of Pepsi a day. And I won't go into the details, but I sat down and calculated my intake on a daily basis was somewhere between 75 and 80 teaspoons of sugar a day.
Wow.
Don't tell me that's not an addiction. So to your question, how can I do this? How do I have the time? It is not something that takes a lot of effort. It's a change in your thinking.
Okay.
Becoming more aware why I'm going to the refrigerator. Am I bored? Am I, what's the term? Compulsive eating? Those are the kind of changes that we're talking about. And those are the ones that will lead to a sustainable weight loss, health, transformation. That's the way it works.
Okay.
I don't believe for a minute that anybody has to settle, and you said something a while ago that really kind of resonated with me. And that's when doctors say, well, this is just the way it is. You're a diabetic, take these pills and you'll be fine. Don't eat too much sugar, watch this or watch that. And nothing against doctors, but, they are trained to diagnose and medicate, not educate. Now, I have a great doctor. He will take the time to educate me if I ask him and show interest, but I'm sure he has so many patients that don't even listen to him. It's frustrating for him, but
right.
So that, it really comes down to us. Okay. I didn't even know what diabetes was. He might as well have told me I had cancer. So I spent literally probably a full month just trying to comprehend what diabetes was about. So it's us to take the time to educate. And the good thing about my program is if I am working with people that are pre-diabetic or diabetic, one of the very first things we do is helping them understand what that disease is, and how it can be reversed. I'm talking about type 2 diabetes, not type 1. That's a whole different world there. And obviously I can't guarantee results, but I do believe that somebody can improve their health, if not full way, and reverse it like I did.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I agree. So my next question is then, if I'm watching this video and I want to get a hold of you, to schedule that discovery call or that consultation, how would I do that?
Well, there's a couple ways. You can go to my website, healthcoachart.com, and look at you can either go to the contact form and send me a message through there. You can go to my coaching programs page and look at the various programs I have in place there, and just click on schedule a consultation call, or you can just email me at healthcoachart@gmail.com.
Okay.
Healthcoachart.1. We'll put this on the video. I can't remember if there's a one at the end of that or not. So
sounds good. It's always good to see it visually.
Yeah.
Okay. So just before we wrap up, do you have anything else that you want to say? Anything we didn't cover?
No, I think we covered about all. You did very well, giving me the opportunity to share, my story and all. And you have to be pretty close to being certified yourself.
Yeah, I am.
Good for you.
Yeah, a few weeks.
It's been a great journey. It really has. Life-changing, really. I look at my life a year ago. I was like, who was that guy? I'm totally different now. So, yeah, appreciate the
It's amazing. Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.